Last year, parents and teachers spent $41 billion on school supplies, and my mom still didn't get me the Ken Griffey Jr. Trapper Keeper. Why all the spending? Why aren't schools covering it? My name is Devin Siebold, and this is the State of Teaching. The cost of school supplies are skyrocketing, with spending increasing $4.6 billion in the last year alone. Yet, the schools are passing the bill to the parents faster than freshmen on a homecoming dinner date. Over the course of a child's life, parents in the U.S. will have spent $4,618 on average on just one kid's school supplies. $5,000 if you were Lisa Frank bougie. I see your glitter dolphin on the folder, it's calling me poor. The sad reality is, the U.S. is one of the only first world countries that sees this type of spending from parents, yet gets the least return for it. Other countries put lead in the kids' pencils, we put lead in the kids' water. Overseas students get the supplies free, but yet we still pay taxes and we fit the bill. That would be like if we built a bunch of new roads with tax money and then they charged you to drive on them. What? Who would do that? Florida. In addition to parents, there's the effort from the teachers. 90% of teachers spent their own money to supply their classroom with essentials. We all know this. The average spending per teacher topped out at $500 for veteran teachers, $800 for new teachers. If I had to guess, I'd say the cost difference being the initial Valium prescription, but what do I know? And again, the reason the public is always given is that schools just don't have the funds to completely stock each classroom. Imagine if Domino's asked employees to fund their supply of pepperoni. Open a box. Did he draw it on? What? Workers logging into TPT, toppings pay toppings. Look, it wouldn't be an issue if the federal government would just take notice and help, but the tax break for individual teacher supplies tops out at $300. For perspective, the tax break for a personal purchase of a Tesla is $7,500. If only the S in Model S stood for Staples or Sharpies. In the last 20 years, that teacher deduction has only increased $50. Yet, in order to buy $300 in typical school supplies in 2002, you would need $663 today. These are the government statistics, by the way, the same government that sets the maximum deduction at $300. Now, let's say you aren't a teacher and you don't have kids. Why should this concern you and your life of good choices? Well, your tax dollars are being used and abused. Shocking, right? And the Frasier reboot is dead without Niles. Tell us something we don't know. But seriously, what the public doesn't realize is the reason the schools are so short on money for supplies is that they are being gouged on what they do order. Schools are government entities, and when private businesses see that label, they envision blank checks. Districts are masked in red tape and vendor contracts that prohibit them from buying from outside vendors other than those approved. Just for me to do one virtual event at a school in Texas, I had to register as a vendor by filling out a 50-page packet that took over an hour and a half just to collect one single check from them. Imagine I was selling school supplies. Once I was approved, the district would have to go through me. The companies that get approved know that they're the only source of supplies, and they choose to charge the schools more. It's like being the only water salesman in the Sahara or the only earplug dealer at the Nickelback concert. You can charge whatever you want, and they do. For example, a brand name whiteboard on Amazon, $320. The same brand name whiteboard on a district supply site, $470. Remember the PE parachute you used to have as a kid? $220 is the highest price I could find online. School supply site, $544. I even found a single chemistry DVD with a 16-minute runtime listed for $817. I hope the lesson is on the chemical effects of setting money on fire, because that is what is happening. Maybe it isn't that schools don't have the funds to take the burden off the parents and the teachers. Maybe they just can't buy you the $2 notebook because they were just forced to buy the same one for $10. What needs to happen is the government needs to remove the red tape and allow for the lowest purchase price, as well as to properly allocate enough money to get these classrooms funded. It's really telling of our priorities when we ask parents and teachers to buy pencils for kids, when the lottery used to fund the classroom can constantly afford to replenish the sharpened pencils at every retailer to fill out the slips. Till next time, I'm Devin Siebold. This was the State of Teaching.